Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. I have a quick update on the person on my group cruise that fell ill on one of the nights here and had to go to medical. I also have some really crazy stories. One of them is a cruise ship strikes a bridge and sinks, and 120 cruise ship workers had to be rescued. We also have the sad story of a professional sailing yacht from Australia that was sailing in Fiji, had their mast break, falling on the sailors, the crew members. One fatally wounded and two others very seriously injured. And a cruise ship, well, the cruise ship had to come to the rescue. So, yes, the lady on board who had an incident the other day in my group cruise, I told you she was doing fine and everything. She was released. I saw her today, and she's up and running, having dinner with the group, out and about, feeling fine. So all things are good. No concerns there. That's terrific news for me. Next, we have a cruise ship in Trevally on the Nile River. It has 120 crew members, and it is currently carrying no passengers. Was en route. It had a travel permit to go down and get some work done on it in Cairo, and apparently it struck a bridge, causing a hole in the side. And this is normally, how a cruise ship would look, upright and everything, but it currently has sunk to the side now and will have to be either destroyed or raised up from the Nile. No telling how long that's going to take. Investigation is going on. The really good news is none of the workers were injured, only slight injury on board, some cuts and bruises for some people when they hit the bridge itself, but it hit with such force that it caused such a large hole that they couldn't save the ship. It sunk pretty quickly. But again, the real good news is, well, they made it, and the crews are good to go. There's no fatalities in that. But unfortunately, my next story does have a fatality, where around 9 p.m. at night, a distress call went out in Fiji from the Coast Guard and the crew of an Aussie yachting boat. What happened is apparently the main mast on the sailboat broke, falling on the crew members down below, striking with such force that one crew member was fatally wounded and two others seriously wounded. And as the distress call went out, a cruise ship, the Pacific Explorer, was on her way to a port and diverted to the side to go rescue the remaining sailors and the injured sailors on board, and got them to safety and gave them medical attention while on board. It's very glad and very lucky that there was a cruise ship nearby that could perform the rescue. It's, it just goes to show, it seems like a luxury rich man sport, right? Out there yachting in a sailboat, and you see the racers out there all the time, right? But it's a sport like any other, and things can happen. And in this case, like, the mast broke, which is very, very rare. But, and again, sadly, there was a fatality, and two others very seriously injured, and I'll update you on their condition as soon as we hear a little bit more about that. British Columbia currently has their first fall storm of the season heading towards them, so much so that the MAJESTIC Princess had to skip its last glacier sailing of the year. That's right. They are on their return home, and they had to skip a glacier, which is, of course, one of the highlights of any Alaska cruise. But they don't want to get into a narrow channel in the glaciers when a storm hits. It's too easy for those ships to be blown. Remember, it's just like a big sail pushing up against it, and it can push them into the rocks or ice or anywhere else in some of those very narrow passages as you're going into any of the glaciers up there. So it's probably the safest bet that they could do, and yeah, Princess was erring on the side of caution. Boy, we've heard about a lot of itinerary changes lately, from storms both in the Caribbean, then out in Alaska, and of course on the way to Bermuda and Canada. It just seems that they all came at once and just said, bam, here we go. Here's all the storms for the season. Well, luckily we are slowly approaching the end of hurricane season. Let's hope we don't have too many more of these on the way, but it certainly has been affecting an awful lot of cruise ships coming up. Well, I hope you appreciate this little video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.